Good morning, everyone. I am Ursula from Mira Asset Mutual Fund, and we are here today to talk on the topic financial independence and retire early. So, let's begin. So, what according to you is FIRE? So, nowadays we hear this term very often that FIRE achieve karna chahiye, or let's have the FIRE movement done. So, what exactly is this FIRE term that is being used so much? It's nothing but it's the thought that encourages you to save and invest aggressively. So it's a thought that encourages you to save and invest aggressively so that you can retire early. So, we all would have seen, our parents retire at the age of 58, 60. But today, if you look at it, a lot of your working professional, maybe your friends, your relatives, people who you know, maybe even your office colleagues will, very often tell you, oh, I don't want to, retire at 58 and 60. I want to retire early. But do you think it's that simple that you just say I want to retire early and you can retire early? The answer is no. Actually, this requires a lot of effort and sacrifice. Now, why do we say that it requires a lot of effort and sacrifice? The simple reason being is uh, once you decide that you want to retire, and maybe the day that you actually retire, you got to understand one thing is that you will not be having any financial income coming to you on a regular basis post that. So you've got to think of all your expenses. You've got to be financially secure before you make that decision that you want to not work post this. And to do that, to be able to take that decision, you have to have that kitty in place before you actually make that you take that call of retiring. So, one question that you should ask yourself is, do you actually enjoy your current life? So, do you have a very nice, luxurious, spacious home? If you have a nice, luxurious, spacious home, you've got to even realize that today you have a salary, today you have an income, so you're paying the maintenance, you're paying your rent, maybe. Or, there are so many other overheads to it. You must be, if you're having a nice, uh, lavish, fancy home, you'll be having nice lighting, you'll be having help around to maintain that. Tomorrow, once you retire, are you going to be able to, pay for all of this? You're going for exotic holidays today. You like experiential dining. The latest gadget that is available in the market, it's as soon as it's launched, maybe you have that okay, fine, I want to go and buy this. I should be having this. I need to upgrade my gadget every 1.5 year. Or are you somebody who likes luxurious assets, maybe a nice watch or go for a nice painting? If all of this is something that you like, then you really need to rethink whether you really want to get into the fire movement. Now, why do we say this? Let's see. The reason why we are saying that, you need to rethink if this is what you like in your current life is because fire has a very different purpose and a very different pathway. So, what is it? Let's see. Before you actually get into the fire movement, you need to go through a reference check for yourself. Like we saw previously, if you're used to having the latest gadget, upgrading your lifestyle, you want, if you see something, you want it immediately, then these are certain questions that you need to answer before you even get into this thought of fire. So, what are these questions? So, can you control lifestyle upgrading or, lifestyle inflation, wherein we feel that, okay, fine, today I'm earning X. So, this is my expense. Tomorrow, my income increases. So I require my comfort also to increase. Right? Today I have one maid who comes to my house for dusting and cleaning. Tomorrow I can afford more, so I will have somebody else come and say, maybe today I'm driving myself, tomorrow I'll keep a driver. These are simple instances of lifestyle upgradation wherein we feel that, okay, fine, if I am working so hard, then I should get the benefit of the income increase that I have. The second question you need to ask yourself is, can you practice delayed gratification? Today you see that there's a new iPhone launched in the market. Is it that you need to go and buy it, or can you say that, okay, fine, not today, maybe let me see, maybe 1 month down the line, do I really require the phone? Is my current phone giving me a problem? Maybe 6 months down the line, is it that the cost will get revised? Maybe there'll be a new version of it that will get upgraded. So, can you actually practice delayed gratification, wherein beyond a certain point of time, it may even happen so that you will feel that, oh, I actually don't require this item or this service or something, that was just at the spark of the moment wherein you felt that, okay, fine, I too need to have it. Another thing that you should ask yourself is social expectation. Can you ignore social expectation? Wherein, everybody in your friend circle must be saying that, oh, you don't have this, or you don't have that. A very common term used amongst us here in Bombay is, log kya bolenge? Right. So can you actually ignore this thing of log kya bolenge? Whether you have it or you don't have it, you're least bothered of what society actually has to say about it. The fourth thing is impulsive consumerism. This happens very often when you'll go to the mall and you'll look at things around you, and sometimes you really like something so much that you feel like, okay, fine, let's buy it. You don't think twice before you actually pick that and bill for it, thinking that, oh, is it really going to be of help to me? Is it that I'm really going to use it? A lot of times we all will agree, we buy things which are lying in our closets, which are lying in our house for months, years together, without it being used, right? And after some time, one fine day, we just remove it out and either dump it or we give it off to somebody else who requires it. That is nothing but impulsive consumerism, wherein you don't require the thing actually, but it's just that you feel that, okay, fine, it's very nice, it's very fancy, so I should buy it. Ideally, what you have done is you have spent money on something that you don't require, which at at the back of your mind, if you're thinking of fire, you could actually have invested that money and it could go into your kitty. Another point that you should ask yourself is, are you comfortable with the fear of missing out? A lot of times, your friends will say, oh, let's go partying here. Oh, there's a new restaurant open. Oh, there's a new pub open. Right? Or, they're going for some experiential holiday or travel. Are you okay with not going there and still being, comfortable with the fact that I'm okay with what I have? I'm okay not enjoying that. I'm okay not being able to experience that. Another thing that you should ask yourself is, are you in a position to pay off all your debts today? Majorly, a lot of youngsters today, or even middle aged people today, for sure will have at least one or two loans. Maybe it will be a home loan, or it could be a car loan. Or today, a lot of us are, taking personal loans to go on exotic holidays, to have a grand wedding, right? Are you in a position today? Do you have the capacity to pay off all these debts and not acquire anything more? If you are a person who feels constantly that, okay, fine, I need to keep upgrading myself, then it's not possible always to upgrade your lifestyle without acquiring a loan. If today you're staying in a 2 BHK, tomorrow you may feel like, oh, this space is too small for me, I need to have a 3 BHK now, right? So, are you satisfied with what you actually have? Is what you should be asking yourself. And the last question, do you have bad financial habits? This is again relating to the previous question, is, are you okay not acquiring any more loans? Are you just satisfied with what you have? And are you comfortable living with what you have for the next whatever years that you have as retirement? So, one question that you should actually ask yourself is, you want to retire today is right. But why do you want to retire? See, retirement is not only that, uh, I'm not going to go to work. But if you're not going to go to work, what are you going to do with that free time? Today, when you're working, you're having almost 9 hours of your life that you are spending at your workplace. Tomorrow, once you retire, you're going to have those 9 hours of your life to yourself. So, what are you actually going to do with that 9 hours of yours? Is it that you want to pursue a passion? Is it that you just want to acquire financial independence, wherein you want to be like, okay, fine, I am financially secure. I am not dependent on anyone. I don't actually am bound by my job. I don't actually have to go to work. I don't need to earn that money to have my daily lifestyle maintained or to have my daily expenses met. Another question could be is you just want to have a better work-life balance wherein you feel like, okay, fine, I don't want to put in 9 hours of work. I don't want to be working for 9 hours. Maybe I'm just happy working 5, 6 hours. Okay, I want to have the rest of the time given to my family, to my kids, or to my parents who are old. Or is it that you just want flexibility? A lot of us, or I would say a lot of the youngsters today don't like to get up in the morning and come to work, right? When you're bound by office, you have a particular time at which you have to reach office. Right? Is it that you don't like that? You want to get up maybe today at 10 o'clock, tomorrow at 11 o'clock, maybe someday at 7. Or you're an early person, you want to get up early, finish everything, and maybe by afternoon just wind up and then have time to yourself. Is it that you want that flexibility wherein you're not bound by a particular time that you have to clock in at this time and you have to clock out at that time? Or is it that you just want a better, improved mental health for yourself, wherein you feel like, okay, fine, today, because of all the rush and the hustle and the bustle, I'm not able to concentrate so much on my health, on my mental health. So, because of that, I want to achieve it. So, you have to have that answer first before you even make this decision that what is it that I want to achieve out of this decision that I take? And what is it that I'm going to do with those 9 hours of my life that I will have to myself? So, when and how do you want to retire is also another question that you should ask yourself. So, there are three options when we look at fire. One is your lean option, your fat option, and the barista option. So, what is the lean option? Lean option is nothing, but it gives you the flexibility to retire early, but on a very minimal budget. So, say today, if you will say that, I go dining out maybe twice a month, I go on an exotic holiday once a year. In lean fire, all of these things won't be possible is because you have a very minimal budget. It's basically a roti kapda makan. So you have your house which is already there, okay, wherein you're not paying any loans, you're not paying any rent, so that is already taken care of. You have bare minimum requirement of clothes that you have, so not that you will be having a closet full of variety of clothes, of shoes. All of that is not possible in this option. And you have decent food to eat on the table. That is what your lean option provides you with. What is fat option? Fat option is a very comfortable option wherein you are able to maintain your current standard of living and maybe a little more than that in this option, wherein you can still go for your outings, for your exotic holidays, to go dining, maybe even follow a passion in this. The reason why is because in this option, you're retiring at a very comfortable corpus position, right? Wherein you're taking into account your current inflation, your future inflation, all of it when it is taken into consideration is what is called fat fire. And what is barista fire? Barista fire is more of like where we have said that, I don't want to be bound by the clock hours of office wherein I have to log in and log out at a particular time, or I have to get up and reach at a particular time. So barista fire is where you are like, I am willing to work, but I don't want to work full time. I will work part time or I will do freelancing. But it's not that I'm out of my income as well, right? So you are free, your time is free. You can take care of whatever else you need to do, your family, your parents, give time to your health. But at the same time, you're still earning. So you're not fully retired and you're not fully working as well. Now, what does it take to actually attain fire? It takes two things. One is you need to save on an extreme basis, and the other is you need to limit your spendings. Okay. you need to invest aggressively. Now, why do we say save and invest? The thing is, because to invest, you need to save. But how can you save? You have only two options. You can either reduce your spending or you can increase your income. Now, reduce your spending is very difficult, right? It's because whatever expenses you have to pay the electricity bill, you have to pay all your utility bills, you have to eat food, and you have to, have your whatever is your discretionary spending, which is compulsory. Those spendings you have to do. So, there is very little space, ideally, if you see, where you can limit your spendings. The places where you can limit your spendings maybe is cut down on going to the restaurant or buying luxurious items or maybe going on an exotic holiday, but that is very few out of the entire big basket. So the only next option left to you is that increase your income. Now how do you increase your income? Possibly you can think of, supposing, is it that you have a passion that you want to follow post you retire, which can generate you income. So maybe you can start off it on a very small scale today, which will eventually grow, and by the time you retire maybe it will be of a sizable corpus or of a sizable size that you can actually take it up full-fledgedly. Or another option is you'll have to build in some passive income, wherein a lot of people today are having second homes wherein they rent that out and then that incomes becomes a passive income, both of which you can again put back into investing, and that can help you build your retirement corpus. Now, what are the things that you need to consider before planning for fire is food. Any household that you look at, your major expense is normally food. So, food has two subcategories in it. One is your dining, and one is your grocery bill. Your grocery bill, whether it be today, whether it be tomorrow, is going to be there, right? But your dining is something that is optional, which you can think of whether you would want to continue it even post you attain fire. So are you still going to go dine out? If you're going to go dine out, then how many times are you going to go dine out? Another thing is your utility payments, which we have said, by far and large, there's nothing much that you can do about it. But yes, the why we are saying that you need to think of utility bills is because today 9 hours of the day you're not at home. Possibly, if all of your people in your house are working, then your house is closed for 9 hours, so your utility bill will be X today. Whereas tomorrow, if you're going to be spending that time of yours at home, then your utility bill is going to increase. So you need to consider that aspect of your utility and your facilities also, that if you are going to attain fire, then that is going to rise. So have you made the required consideration into your kitty for this expense? The third thing is health cost. Health cost, as we all know, keeps increasing as your age progresses. Today you are in a particular bracket, so your mediclaim expense is X. Tomorrow it's going to be Y, and after that it will even increase further, right? So the older you get, your health cost is going to increase. Besides health costs, even there are a lot of other ailments that come with age. So have we considered all of that? Have we protected ourselves with the required health costs, that tomorrow when I don't when I don't have a steady income coming in, and if something happens, God forbid, at that point of time, things are already taken care of. I've already got a policy in place wherein it does not hurt my kitty if something happens, but the insurance will take care of it. The fourth thing is unforeseen expenses. Say you're something like a COVID that happens, something that is out of your control, which could be life threatening. It could be a disease, it could be a disaster, but such instances could impact your corpus. So have you planned for a small kitty, which could be an unforeseen kitty, wherein if something happens, it's not impacting your retirement budget that you have kept, which will, which requires to last you for another 30, 40 years? The fifth option that you need to be considering is transportation. So, a lot of people will be wondering that, why transportation? If I'm going to give up working, I'm not going to be commuting to office any longer. Which is right, you may not be commuting to office any longer. But, when we have a lot of time at hand, maybe even though it's, a nearby hill station or maybe just a weekend get out. A lot of us may think of indulging into such things wherein it's not your daily commute, but it is your travel expense because you will have to spend to go to those places. So, are things like this that you would like to do and which you want to do is something that you need to think and account for it into the budget. The last thing is your leisure activities. So, a lot of people will feel that, okay, I want to attain fire is because I want to go and indulge in some of, the leisure activities, which I cannot do when I am when I am working. It could be a hobby. It could be travel. We see a lot of people today, who've given up their jobs, their regular jobs, and are vlogging and blogging. You'll see your food blogging and your travel vlogging. So, are these things that you are planning of doing? Wherein initially, like we have said, it's a passion, it's a hobby that you want to follow, but initially, it's not going to pay you. It's going to take some time by the time the income starts coming in. But in the meanwhile, you are going to have expenses that you will have to bear to start and do all of this. So these are factors that you need to think of and estimate into your budget. So now, how do you actually calculate this number? So there are two options. One is the basic calculation, and one's the advanced. Let's look at the basic first. So, what's the basic calculation? The basic calculation is whatever is your annual expense. In this example, we have said Aryan has an annual expense of 12 lakhs, which is 1 lakh per month. So 12 lakhs into 25, assuming that you are going to live for another 25 years, it is 3 crores corpus. But uh, you and I both will agree that a 3 crore corpus wouldn't be very sufficient to, last you for another 30, 40 years of your life. Now, why do we say 30, 40 years? Assuming that, a person retires by the age of 40, 45 and lives another 30, 40 years, which is your average age of 75 to 80, because the average Indian life expectancy is somewhere in the range of 70, 72. So, assuming 70, 72 is the average life expectancy today, and with medical, progressing and so many medicines coming up, so many treatments coming up, we are saying from here your life expectancy is only going to go up. So, today's 70 will at least be another 75, 80 going ahead. So, do you really think 3 crores is going to be sufficient? If no, then you should look at the second option, which is the multi-factor consideration, wherein we say wherein we say that supposing Aryan is 25 years today and he wants to achieve fire at 45, which is the same scenario as it was previously, and his expenses are still 1 lakh. Okay. Out here, we are saying that you should consider inflation on your current cost today, wherein we are saying 1 lakh today after 20 years at 5% inflation will be equal to 2.65 lakhs, right? And the total corpus that he would require after 40 years will be 7.76 crores. Now, how did we arrive at this figure? We've taken 5% inflation on your current expenses, which is 1 lakh today, and we have taken inflation on your future corpus also. So it's not only that, your 1 lakh, the value of your 1 lakh will be depreciating, but the value of your entire corpus will also be depreciating. So when you have this calculation done, you come to a figure which is 7.76 crores. So to achieve this amount, how can he achieve this amount? He'll have to put in an SIP of at least 72,168. If he puts in this SIP for 20 years, he'll be able to achieve 7.676 crores, which will be sufficient for him to live another 40 years of post-retirement life. So, what is it that you can learn out of the fire movement? One thing is, you don't need to get scared of it, but yes, you need to start dreaming and you need to start planning for your retirement. You can't just say that I'm going to dream, but I'm not going to plan for it. Another thing is, you've got to find ways to keep your expenses low. You've got to look at options of how you can boost your income. And fourth is you need to start prioritizing saving and investing. You can't only say I will save and not invest. So you both of it is important. And what are the things to keep in mind if your plan actually fails? Like all of us always have this, that I have plan A and I have plan B. If plan A fails, and I should be able to switch to plan B. So what's plan B in this? One is you may have to go back to working. So if there is a calamity which you have not foreseen or you have not accounted for, there could be a scenario where you will have to go back to work. You've also got to understand that if you're going back to work, you're going to be older than today. Today, if you're 20, 25, and if you have to go back to work after 20 years, you're going to be 45. Things are going to change at that point of time. The requirement is going to change, the environment is going to change, your health is going to be different. So, you've got to keep this in mind before you actually take this decision. And the third and most important, if comes a day wherein you have to go back to these things, you have to understand that you are going to start your accumulation phase back at zero. Why do we say back at zero? Is because you've taken this decision of going back to work because you know that your corpus is not able to sustain your post retirement life, or maybe it may come to a situation where you don't have that corpus any longer, because of which you got to go back to work. So these are certain things that you need to keep in mind before you get into this plan. And what's one thought that we would like to leave you with is that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, right? So it's not that you can reach your destination directly without actually taking the effort. You have to take one step at a time, and that's when you'll actually reach your destination. Even if you're going for a holiday, you don't directly go from your home to the holiday destination. You have to travel. Whatever by whatever transport to reach there. Okay, and fire is not mandatorily that you have to retire. It's just giving you an option of whether you want to retire or no, whether you want to do something else with your time. Do you want to have better control over your financial life, whether you want to have better control over your time and your health? So the decision is clearly up to you of what you do with it. It's just that it helps you achieve financial freedom. With that, I would like to end the presentation here. If there are any questions, I'm happy to help. Thank you. So we have a question from Amlan which says, does the 25x formula take care of school going children? No, sir, it does not take care of school going children. It takes care of only accounts for whatever is your current expense today, will into 25 will give you a rough figure of what should be your retirement corpus at that point of time. Why I say that it does not take care of school going children is because your fees that you're paying for your child today is X. Next year when your child goes to the next standard, the fee itself will revise over there, so your household expense also is going to increase. This formula is saying that your household expense is static. It's not moving, it's not changing. So hence it does not take care of school going children. We have another question from Rudra which says, can you explain the part of inflation of 2.65 lakhs? Yes, sir. What we have done is, whatever is your current expense today, wherein we have said that it is 1 lakh per month, we have taken 5 lakhs, 5% inflation on that. 5% inflation for the next 20 years, because Aryan was 25 is what we said, and he wants to retire at 45. So 25 to 45 is 20 years. So after 20 years, 1 lakh today will be equal to 2.65 lakhs after 20 years. So if you are buying, say, to explain to you in very simple terms, if you are buying milk today for 70 rupees, 20 years back, possibly you would have bought that same 70 rupees milk for say 20-25 rupees. So because of inflation, after 20 years, today it is 70 rupees. So we are saying that 1 lakh today after 20 years from here. So if we are in 2025, we are saying in 2045, 1 lakh to buy the same amount of goods of 1 lakh, you will require 2.65 lakhs. So that was the logic used there. So we have a question which says, does the SIP calculation take into account a particular market return? Yes, sir. We've calculated the SIP calculation at 12% per annum CAGR. What is the source of income after fire is a question from Mr. Mahesh. So that is what we are saying, that you have two options for source of income. Is either one is that you can build on, you can take up a job which is part time, depending if you really want to do it, okay, or you could build a passion which you are thinking already that okay fine, because of this passion, because I want to follow this, is the reason why I want to attain fire. And you can start that passion today and build it up slowly, so that by the time you actually think of retiring, you can actually, that passion of yours is full fledged, wherein it will give you a return and income back for you. An example that I had given is your travel vlogs or your food blogging, wherein today maybe you're doing it on a very small scale today because you have a regular income, so you can even manage that expense. But tomorrow, maybe by the time your channel becomes so big and you know that okay fine, it's giving me a sustainable income, now you can take that decision that okay fine, I can retire. One option is that. A second option is you save and you invest so aggressively today, and you consider all of your expenses that you are going to retire, that you are going to require at retirement, and build that kitty. So tomorrow, even though you may think that I want to retire only to take care of my family because of my health, because of security, your what you say, your kitty at that point of time becomes your financial security, becomes your income at that point of time. So we have a question from Akash which says, how do we judge a particular market return to be considered? So, sir, when you're looking at investing, we always say that you should have a diversified basket. You should not only look at putting all your eggs in one basket. So, not only looking at the equity market as an option for investing, but you should have multiple sources. The reason why we say this is because tomorrow, if one asset is not doing well, at least something else should be able to compensate you. So, on a whole, we say that your portfolio return should be anywhere in the range of 11-12%. Okay, that will help you beat inflation. And besides beating inflation, it will give you a little edge over your investment, which will help you build that retirement corpus for yourself. I think there are no other questions besides this. So, thank you everyone for joining us and being such a wonderful audience. If you all have any other questions,